G'day. I've been thinking a lot lately about whether or not creativity and art have anything to do with positive disintegration and personality growth. It turns out there are a lot of correlations. So today's video is about 5 secret benefits of art in personality development. Now I'm going to let you in on those little secrets throughout the video, and I'm going to share with you by letting you into my world and telling you about how little Emma, my inner child, and I recently discovered these secrets after going on a bout of finger painting. So not only am I going to tell you about what I've discovered, but I'm going to share with you my experience and show you some footage of me painting like a mad person. So today is going to be a lot of fun. But I know some of you might be out there saying, "But Emma, I can't make art. I haven't got an artistic bone in my body." As a special bonus, I'm going to show you some ways that you can unleash your inner artist without having any artistic talent whatsoever. Firstly, let's look at 2 of the main benefits of art in personality development. Lawrence Nixon wrote an article called Creativity and Positive Disintegration in the Advanced Development Journal. And in it, he said that works of art can serve 2 developmental functions in particular. The first is that art is relaxing, what a lot of people like to call therapeutic. It can provide relief from the stress of personality growth and give an individual time for reflection. The second thing that he says is that art can gently facilitate positive disintegration by initiating those loosening of perceptions around yourself and the world. And it can cause fluctuations in the way that you see yourself. In other words, you can challenge all those perceptions that you previously have of what you are and aren't capable of. Which leads me to how you can make art without actually knowing anything about art. So I've been doing a little bit of inner child work recently, and I decided that little Emma needed a break from all the in-depth discussion and trauma work that we've been doing, and that both of us needed a little treat. And that is the relaxation thing that Nixon talks about. So I thought it might be fun for us to do some art together, and in particular to engage in some finger painting. Now, I'd always had this idea that one day I wanted to paint to music, and not just chuck some tunes on in the background while I painted, but literally paint in time to the music and allow myself to let go and let the music guide what came out on the paper. And this fits in with Nixon's other idea about pushing myself and how I viewed myself and what I could and couldn't do. It was going to make me let go because when you think about it, trying to cover an entire page in the space of a song, which is about 3 to 5 minutes, I was going to have to let go to do that. And if I stopped moving or overthought it too much, I was never going to cover the entire piece of paper with paint. But this is something that anyone can do. Anyone can cover their hands in paint and smoosh it over the page. And thinking with my inner child, it made me realize there's a whole bunch of stuff that kids engage in, these imaginative and creative play activities that we just forget about as adults. Art doesn't have to conform to our adult standards of what we think art is supposed to be. Art can be making shapes out of Play-Doh. It can be building a sandcastle, or writing a short piece about how a leaf is a sailboat for fairies, or mucking around with Lego, or colouring in a colouring in book and doing all the wrong colours in the wrong spaces. If you think about all those crafting and play activities that kids engage with all over the world every day, you'll start to see that there's heaps of ways that you can unleash your inner child and your inner artist. And if 3-year-old kids can do it, you can do it too. And that's the third benefit towards positive disintegration. Dabrowski wrote about this himself under his pen name in a book that he wrote called Existential Thoughts and Aphorisms. And in it, Dabrowski talks about soldiers returning from war and visiting the land of their childhood, whether or not that be physically returning home or else mentally going back to that childlike state and finding their inner child. And through it, he says that they can draw from an air of freshness and open-heartedness and understanding and reach a place of truth and be filled with openness and spontaneity and creativity. So, without further ado, here's a clip of me finger painting to music. And warning, you're probably not going to like the music that I like, but I really don't care. So, after the first one, lather, rinse and repeat. Well, that was it. That was my finger painting session. But when I did this, I discovered two more fantastic benefits of art as it relates to positive disintegration. And these come from the concept of autopsychotherapy, or doing therapy on yourself. The first is to uncover feelings. So for me, with my finger painting, this showed itself in happiness. Because I had to go wash my hands between paintings, the first 2 times that I was standing at the sink, I literally was laughing my ass off. I didn't realise I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. And it was a range of emotions, calmly wiggling my fingers to David Bowie, and smashing my fist to Metallica, enthusiastically swiping in time to Mozart, or sensually running my fingers through the paint in time to Prince. The experience allowed a whole range of emotions to come to the surface in a very short amount of time. Now, it's not the first time that I've used art to deal with emotions, but normally they're less pleasant, so sadness or anger or grief. But the point is that expressing these things through your art helps bring those things to the surface, and then you can deal with them effectively. And the other feeling that you might experience is that pleasant sense of surprise with yourself once you've completed Nixon's challenge of doing something that you didn't think you could do before. The second autopsychotherapy benefit came a few days later when I was chatting to a friend about this experience that I'd had, and she made a very good point about neuroplasticity. That is, the brain's capacity to develop and change and build neural pathways as we grow and learn. Sometimes if we're emotionally stunted, particularly as kids, we lose the opportunity to build certain neural pathways. And we can also build a certain sense of shame or reluctance about engaging in particular activities. Part of the reason why I want to finger paint in particular and not use a brush is that it was something I wasn't really allowed to do as a kid. I grew up in a pretty mess-free household where splashing paint around was frowned on, and I never went to daycare or anything. So finger painting was conspicuously missing from my development. But by engaging in this activity as an adult, it gave me a chance to interact with the paint in ways I hadn't done before, and hence build new neural pathways. So physically, it was a new experience. My hands hadn't done it before. And it also challenged those notions of mess is a bad thing. I distinctly remember thinking to myself when I was cleaning up that, I didn't make anywhere near as much mess as I thought I was going to do. So by doing, my mind and my body got to participate in a new experience and build new neural pathways. So I got those 5 benefits. I got to relax. I challenged my perceptions of what I thought I could and could not create. I freed my emotions. I got to build new neural pathways by interacting with the paint in a way that I hadn't before. And I engaged in creative and imaginative play and let my inner child be free and happy. All very Dabrowskian and a hell of a lot of fun. So that's my share today. A little glimpse into my life, and hopefully a little bit of inspiration and encouragement for you to unleash your inner artist too. And together, if we all keep playing and engaging in art, we can keep walking that path towards personal development and our authenticity. See you later.